The image you see before you is a BMW ad that was posted via LinkedIn by Sir John Hegarty, the creator and founder of Bartle, Bogle, and Hegarty, or better known as BBH, a former client of ours and an award-winning advertising and marketing firm. In this post, Hegarty discusses how advertising has gotten lazy and has lost its way in terms of centering around the big idea. In this video, we discuss this very notion and talk about how companies and advertising can create more aha moments and more meaning for the customers.
All right, Drew, I've got to talk to you about a thing that just came over my LinkedIn feed here, and it's from Sir John Hegarty. And John Hegarty was the creative director, founder, partner in BBH years ago, and he and Sir, they all got Sir titles, Sir Nigel Bogle. We worked with them. We were working with Levi's, and then we worked with the BBH team, and so I know a little bit about John, and he's a very creative, loving man. And he has his own views on advertising and brand building and so forth. So I just saw this LinkedIn come in today, and he's basically talking about a BMW ad, and the ad is basically a two-page print. Took up 2 pages in a magazine, 2-page print, and it just shows kind of a desert scene with a moon and the half moon on the side, and this car, not well shot, of a BMW, and it has a QR code on it, and the QR code basically is saying test drive our car. Mm-hmm. And that's about it. It's a very minimal
I just took a look at the ad myself, and I have a lot of thoughts.
well, John Hegarty's thoughts were, where's the idea? Where's the persuasion? Where's the pride? Did the agency really think this bland, soulless, poorly shot spread would make me book a test drive? BMW used to stand for something, now it stands for nothing. No surprise the German car industry is struggling. So that was his comment on it.
Yeah, I can see where that comment came from.
Yeah, and I looked at some of the comments. There was also comments that followed it, and the comments were things like, "This ad is lazy. Mm-hmm. It's just a lazy ad. Nobody who." And then other comments were around. Somebody gave them a really bad brief to the agency. Don't blame the agency; they got a bad brief. Others said, "Oh well, this is arrogance. We're so wonderful. Just take the QR code and drive our car.
Right.
You know who we are."
Right. No introduction needed.
No introduction needed. We're wonderful, and of course we don't have to tell why we're wonderful and why we differentiate or anything else like this.
Yeah.
So I thought that's such an interesting, striking thought. What's your first reaction to that?
Well, I do see that. I being a designer and like into storytelling myself, like I try to see things from all sides as possible. So I'm going to sound a little bit like a devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. I agree with a lot of the people with what everybody's saying, and yet I can also say that in some ways it might feel refreshing to others, right? Because we're so used to these ads that they're working so hard to persuade us to buy our devotion and buy our attention, and saying, with car commercials like "the adventure awaits," when most of us are just going to Starbucks in our car, right?
Right.
And so and so I think there might be a lot of people are just like, there's no way you can persuade me that this car is magic. Mm-hmm. But what you can do is get me right into an experience. That's how I make that's how I'm going to make a decision about your car. So on some level, I can play devil's advocate and say, actually, the minimalism of this is kind of interesting because go right to the experience. Maybe that is actually a more storytelling, a greater storytelling device than trying to convince me of something. I will say that this ad is already highly successful because right now we're making a video talking about this thing that Sir John Hegarty had to stop in his tracks and talk about it. You know, even if it's the worst thing you see, sometimes you have to talk about it. It's kind of like, you know, people that you go out to dinner and they say, "Oh my God, you have to try this food that's terrible," and you're like, I don't want to try that.
Yeah.
Right? And I looked at the ad and I'm like, it's really an unseductive looking vehicle. I got to be honest with you.
Well, one comment I read in there was that the BMW car they were showing, it looks like a refrigerator on wheels.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a big clunky thing looking. It said, "Is this really a Range Rover?"
Well, it's also like know your kind of brand too, and it's not that you can't innovate and change, but like people think of when they think of the BMWs, they think of like the M series, these super fast, beautiful. They were like luxury cars that could handle any road at high speeds, right? And you know, I know a lot of people that are big fans of the BMW, and it really stems from their M series. It's like when people think of Ford, they often go right to like the Mustang, and not like a Ford minivan.
Yeah.
Right. So,
as you know, we had a BMW, a little one, a 321, and we gave it to you to take off to go to RISD.
Yeah.
To go to school.
I love that car.
Did you?
Oh yeah, I did. And the thing is, even though it wasn't, you know, it needed a lot of work and it was expensive to get any kind of work done, and it was an old car, the suspension on that thing was hands above any car I'd ever driven. I could take any turn and zip right around. And I love that car. And anyways, my point is though, is that like, what does your brand stand for? And is there, in your advertising, in your messaging, are you actually keeping us along with the same song, I guess? And if you're going to tell a new song and you're going to have a new innovation, then you need to probably have us lean in a little bit more while you're trying to be different.
Yeah, the ultimate driving machine has been their mantra for a long time, right?
Right.
And so they didn't. I think they felt they didn't need to repeat that or something. It wasn't in that messaging.
I don't think they. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it also brought up for me. I was thinking about it. Is that several people wrote things about. This is a reflection on advertising too. They were saying, and these are creative directors and all sorts of CMOs and things like this in companies, chief marketing officers, and they're saying things like, well, where's the big idea? You know, usually you're looking for the big idea, and I know John Hegarty always used to talk about the big idea. What's the big idea here? And I was thinking about the big idea in advertising. And as we were talking earlier today, we were talking about the big meaning and significance of things. And significance and meaning are desperately needed right now in a lot of our world.
Yeah.
And yet, so is it the big idea or is it the big aha?
Yeah, it's the big aha, I would say.
Yeah. Right. So the big idea might be clever and creative, whatever, but if it's not a big aha that goes with it, that goes, oh yeah, that really gets me, resonates with me, captures me. If that big aha isn't with that big idea, it's just cleverness for cleverness' sake.